Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he longed to come to Vrindavan. You know the story. When he took initiation from Ishwara Puri, the night after his initiation, he was so intoxicated with ecstatic love. There were torrents of tears flowing from his eyes. His hairs were standing on end. His limbs were trembling. His voice was choked up. And in the middle of the night, when all of his associates were sleeping, he just ran in the darkness, to Vrindavan. He was running and running and running. Vrindavan, Vrindavan, where is Krishna? Where is Govardhan? Where is Bamsivat? Where is Yamuna? And then a voice, the voice of the Devatas, spoke from the sky and said, "My Lord, your mission is to inaugurate the Harinam Sankirtan movement in Navadvip. You have to do that. You can go to Vrindavan later, but now go back to Navadvip and establish Harinam Sankirtan. You have come to drown the world in the ocean of Harinam." So Lord Chaitanya, yes, thank you. And he went to Navadvip. And he established Harinam Sankirtan movement. In the house of Srivas, in his own house, at Chandrasekhar Bhavan. Day and night he was simply chanting and dancing. In fact, it is said that by our acharyas that Srivas Angam was Rasastali. The Rasa dance of Braj was taking place in Navadvip, which is non-different than Vrindavan, in the house of Srivas, with Harinam Sankirtan. But then after he took sannyas in Katva, what was his ambition? Immediately after taking the vows of sannyas and receiving the sannyas mantra and given his name, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, he danced and danced and danced with Keshava Bharati Maharaj, his sannyas guru, and then said, "Now I will go to Vrindavan." And he was running, dancing, and everyone was following. He sent everyone back but his associates. And he was going to Vrindavan. He was so fixed. Where is Yamuna? Where is Govardhan? Where is Bamsivat? Where is Mahavan and Kadiravan and Kothilavan? He was running. Nityananda Prabhu understood that the devotees in Navadvip were dying in separation. And ultimately the Lord's heart was to please his devotees. So he told some little cowherd boys, "When this sannyasi asks you, where is Vrindavan and Yamuna, show him the way to the Ganga." And they did just like that. And he saw the river Ganga, and he was so intoxicated he thought it was Yamuna. He just offered his obeisances and started offering beautiful, beautiful prayers and glorification of Vrindavan and Yamuna, and he went in to take his bath. And on Nityananda Prabhu's arrangement, Advaitacharya came on a boat with some dried copins. Lord Chaitanya said, "Advaita Prabhu, how have you come to Vrindavan?" And Advaita was really confused. He said, "Vrindavan, this is Shantipur, Ganga." Haribo. And then all the devotees of Navadvip, headed by Sachi Mata, arrived. And Sachi Mata and the devotees appealed to Lord Chaitanya that if you go to Vrindavan, it is very far away. We will not hear of you. But Puri is very close. Krishna is living there as Jagannath. Please make that your residence. So Radha and Krishna, the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, made his residence in Puri. And then he traveled throughout the southern provinces of India for 2 years. And he drowned people in the love of the residents of Vrindavan. The story of Venkatabhatta and his family. They became pure devotees of Radha and Krishna and knew nothing else in life but chanting their holy names. And then there's the story, Lord Chaitanya wanted to go to Vrindavan so bad, so much, too much. And the devotees, they couldn't stop him, but they couldn't let him go either. They said, Lord, you can go, because the Lord would not do anything without the blessings and permission of his devotees. He wanted to teach this etiquette, that no endeavor we make can possibly be auspicious and pleasing to the Lord unless we have the blessings of the Vaishnavas. He was longing to go to Vrindavan for years. And we're just taking a train and coming. Harivo. Some people are living here. Harivo. But Mahaprabhu, he actually understood the substance of Vrindavan to the supreme. He was longing to come here, but not without the blessings of his devotees. You can go, but after Dola Yatra. So he stayed for Dola Yatra. After Dola Yatra, I can go to Vrindavan, but Ratha Yatra is coming up. You should stay till Ratha Yatra. After Ratha Yatra, I will go. Janmashtami coming. After Janmashtami. You don't want to miss Janmashtami. After Janmashtami, there's Sarat Purnima and there's Govardhan Pujas. Now can I go? Dola Yatra is coming up. Now can I go? Ratha Yatra is coming up. For several years, they just couldn't let him go. But when they saw how his heart was so intent to go, they couldn't stop him. So finally they said, yes, you can go now, but we're all coming with you. So all the devotees were coming. Of course, Gadadhar Pandit, he was coming. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, you cannot come. You took a vow of Kshetra Sannyas. That means to never leave the town where your deity resides. If you leave, I will be responsible for breaking that vow. And Gadadhar Pandit, in very sweet nectaring words, he said, to hell with this Kshetra Sannyas. Wherever you are, there is Vrindavan. When I see your lotus feet, I worship Gopinath hundreds and millions and billions of times. Harivo. So Lord Chaitanya said, no, you cannot come. And Gadadhar Pandit said, then I'm not going with you. You're not responsible. I will go. I'm going to see the Ganga and your mother, that's all. I'm not going with you. I'm going anyway. So Lord Chaitanya was going, and there was so many devotees with him, and Gadadhar Pandit was just a little distance away. He could see the Lord from a little distance, but he wasn't exactly in the group. So they came to one river. That river was actually the border where Gadadhar Pandit, if he crossed that river, his vow would be broken. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got on a boat and told Gadadhar that you go back, you serve Gopinath, I do not want to speak anything or hear anything else. And then he went. And Gadadhar Pandit fell unconscious on the ground. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya also was a Kshetra Sannyasi, although Grihastha, because he took vow that he would never leave the precinct of Puri, because his Ishtadev was Jagannath. So Lord Chaitanya told Sarvabhauma, please pacify Gadadhar. And Gadadhar, and he said, Mahaprabhu, you don't understand. You should know that Mahaprabhu is feeling more pain of separation from you than you are for him. But because of his love, he must protect your promise. Just like in Kurukshetra, Krishna broke his own promise to protect Bhishma's promise. In the same way, the Lord is enduring the pain of losing your association just to protect your promise. That is his love. So they returned to Puri. And Mahaprabhu was traveling, and he was doing Harinam Sankirtan everywhere he went. But what happened is, wherever he went, the entire villages and towns just left their homes, left their occupations, left everything to join Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan procession. To Vrindavan. Harivo. Soon there were millions of people. And everywhere he would step, people would take the dust from his feet, and there were holes in the grounds wherever he stepped. And then he went to Ramkeli, where he met Rupa and Sanatan Goswami. They surrendered with utter humility at his lotus feet. But Sanatana Goswami told him that to go to Vrindavan with so many millions of people, you will not appreciate the atmosphere. Better you go alone or with one or two others. Then Mahaprabhu went to Kanai Natashala the next day. It's a beautiful forest, which actually resembles Vrindavan. In fact, it is considered non-different than Vrindavan. Kanai Natashala, the river Ganges, circles on three sides around it. Beautiful forest on a hill. And there's tamal trees and kadamba trees and buccal trees and banyan trees. And Mahaprabhu was there and he was really feeling the sweetness of Vrindavan. But there were hundreds and thousands of people all over the place, and he thought what Sanatana Goswami has said is correct. And he came back. He told the devotees, we will return to Puri. He came back. And when he got to the outskirts, the residents of Puri came to greet him, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu revealed his heart. He said, because I caused pain to Gadadhar Pandit's heart, Krishna would not allow me to go to Vrindavan. Now, without Gadadhar's permission and blessings, I cannot go. Krishna will not allow. Now, that is a very important instruction. Prabhupada says you cannot come to Vrindavan actually simply by a ticket or by buying some land. We have to actually have the blessings of Guru and Vaishnavas. So Gadadhar Pandit, when he heard this, he said, my Lord, you are the independent Supreme Personality of Godhead. You can do as you please. But before you go, come to my house for prasad. So he came to the Tota Gopinath temple, and Gadadhar Pandit fed him sumptuously with food that he cooked with his own hands. Gadadhar Pandit is Srimati Radharani. How he cooked and offered it to Gopinath and then to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then Lord Chaitanya went with his servant, Balabhadra Bhattacharya. And on the way, you know the story, how he was so eager to come to Vrindavan. In the Jarikanda forest, he was just anticipating arriving in Vrindavan with such intense separation. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami explains that when Lord Chaitanya was in Puri and he was thinking of Vrindavan, his ecstatic love would increase hundreds of times. And when he was in the Jarikanda forest on the way to Vrindavan, that ecstasy increased hundreds, thousands of times. And when he actually came to the precinct of Mathura, that ecstasy increased hundreds of times. And when he was roaming through the 12 forests of Vrindavan, that ecstasy increased unlimitedly. In Jarikanda forest, he made the tigers and the elephants and the snakes and the deers and the trees and the creepers dance and weep in ecstatic love as they chanted the holy name. And when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in Vrindavan, even the animals recognized that this is the son of Nanda Maharaj. The deers would come and lick him and glance at him with so much love in their eyes, welcoming him back after a long time away. And the parrots would be singing in great jubilation that Radha and Krishna have returned. And the cows, they would moo and they would surround the Lord and just lick his body like nectar. The peacocks, when they would see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as if their dearest friend has come home after a long time, the peacocks would caw and dance jubilantly in ecstasy. In this way, Mahaprabhu roamed through the 12 forests of Vrindavan. And then he settled in Akrura Ghat and would come every day to chant the holy names at the Imli Tal on bank of Jamuna. And there, chanting the holy name, he would be immersed so deeply in the highest ecstasies of divine love, Shri Radharani's Mahabhav. And in Radharani's love, his consciousness was so immersed in the ecstatic feelings of affection for Krishna that sometimes his body would turn the color of Krishna, Shyam Sundar, due to his absorption. And some acharyas explain that Lord Chaitanya was thinking, I have come to assume the complexion of Radharani with her sentiments. So Mahaprabhu decided to leave Vrindavan after 2 months. We have already explained when he saw Govardhan Hill, the first rock he saw, he just embraced and wept and cried, seeing the body of Krishna. He discovered Radha Kund and Sham Kund while sitting under a tamal tree, just looking at 2 ordinary little puddles in a paddy field. What Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what ecstasy he experienced living in Vrindavan. Millions of times greater ecstasy than anywhere. But he left to return to Puri, to perform Ratha Yatra with the devotees, and to further establish the Sankirtan movement. But did Lord Chaitanya actually leave Vrindavan? In one sense, in the mood of Sri Radharani, he was immersed in the ecstasies of separation. The last 18 years of his life in Gambhira were nothing but the highest symptoms of love in separation manifesting. But wherever Mahaprabhu was, is Vrindavan. So this spirit Srila Prabhupada understood so deeply in his heart.
You were listening to Radhanath Swami on devotionalnectar.com.